We are the Hollywood Paranormal Detectives.
That's what the hat says. That's what the people want. All right, hopefully we did a TikTok pre-show. We had 240 people watching. I told them all to come over here, and we have one. Hello to the Maisies. So welcome to HPD Live. Here we are. I'm your host, the man who's ready to believe you, Mr. Steven Atkins. HPD, no Bryman tonight, so I can't swerve him by bringing on the Maisie first. But, you know, here she is, Mandy Maisie.
I'm dying.
What? Oh, the Maisie's even left.
My parents are always coming in clutch.
How are you, Mandy?
I'm good. I am solid.
You ever heard the term, I wasn't born yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mandy, HPD World, didn't start in the paranormal yesterday. She didn't even start with HPD. Mandy has been running the roads with her homie for a while now.
Yeah.
You know what we should do, Mandy? We should have your friend on.
Do it. Bring her up.
Do you have anything like a conjuring spell that would just have her pop up?
Abracadabra. Shisha.
Oh my God!
That was so cheesy, but the best. Hi, Mr. Maisie.
And that's improv. Hello, Jade. We've heard
good.
So
Hi,
much.
Steven.
We've heard so much about you. So many very intricate stories about your private life.
All good, hopefully. Yeah.
She tells all about your private life, all your darkest secrets.
Mm-hmm.
She's told
Miss
us
Skeleton, all of it.
Yeah, they know everything.
Yeah.
Well, let me off the cuff. Let's start with this. Before we get to where you guys were this weekend, what's going on? How did you two meet?
So me and Mandy, we met like 2 years ago. We were studying. I still study under April Nicole, one of the best psychic mediums till this day, that I've met.
Yeah.
So when we were able to do classes in person, there was like a 5-week making sense of your senses courses. So we met in Huntington Beach, and we would meet up. I think it was like every Sunday, and I didn't know Mandy at all, but like it was weird because I remember Mandy walking in the room, and it's one of those moments where like, you know, when a person just stands out, like, I don't know if it was like girl crush or, you know, like that Mandy really stood out. So I would kind of just like observe her and watch her. During that time, we didn't even talk to each other. I think we went through another cycle of 5 weeks, and we just never talked. We were in different groups. So we weren't in like vibing yet. And then
but there was already like a respect there. You could tell like, oh, she's here and she's serious about it. Like you both kind of knew that.
I don't know if we knew that about each other. Nice. That's a setup. I don't know. But later on, I think, was it later that year, Mandy?
Yeah.
We both signed up for Tony Stockwell's trance mediumship course, which is a year-long mentorship course. He's like the expert.
God, no, that was a full year later. Like a full year.
Was it? Okay, so fast forward full year later, and we just happened to talk then, and like I was like, hey, you remember me from April's class? And we just met up. And the strange thing is that like I was telling her, Cindy Kaza told me that, you know, I need to seek Tony Stockwell out. So this was at a retreat in Kauai. So I was telling Mandy because I thought it was really cool. I was so excited. And then she tells me, you know, I think you had done a reading with her, and that came up. So Cindy actually told Mandy too. So Cindy is kind of the common connection between us. And, you know, we've just spent a year working with each other, just getting to know how we work. And it just kind of happened from there. I think I would follow her on Instagram, and I would notice she was going on these paranormal investigations. Granted, you know, she didn't post a lot about it or like, you know, brag a lot of it, but I was intrigued because I've grown up. I've been watching, you know, Ghost Adventures. I like Dead Files. What's his name? Ryan Buell. I love Paranormal State. Like, and I just loved all like the original ghost shows. So I was always intrigued, but never knew that you can do that like as like a civilian. I never knew you can go out and actually do events and like go to these locations if you weren't like a celebrity in the paranormal field. So I would watch her, and I was, you know what, like I knew that she was going by herself at this time, and I was like, you know what, if she can do it, I can do it too. So I saw Nick Groff post that he was doing an event at the Goldfield Hotel, and I was like, you know what, I feel really called to do this. Like I'm terrified. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I get there. But it was like, you know what, I signed up. And then I messaged Manny. I was like, hey, are you going to this? Are you free? But she was going already with her dad. So
I was
like,
bringing my dad.
I was like, oh, like I don't want to be like the third wheel. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll see you there. So I invited my friend Rachel, and that's just kind of how it started. I spent most of the time with my friend Rachel, but I was observing how passionate Mandy was. And even my friend was like, you know what, she was just kind of, she's like a tarot reader, amazing tarot reader. But she was kind of like holding back, which I thought she would be like more involved. But she was just commenting on how passionate just everyone in the paranormal field is. And I was taken aback by like how nice and how like welcoming everyone, just was accepting of me just being like a newcomer. Didn't really know about all the new shows because I haven't, like really caught up yet. And it was just an amazing experience. And then I thought that was going to be the last one. I thought I was just going to go off and, sign up or just follow Nick Groff on tour, right? And I would look up other things, but I didn't know where to find locations. And then in December, Mandy hits me up. She's like, hey, I know it's like last minute, but do you want to go to this I think it's a Paracon or just a convention in Las Vegas? And I was like, yeah.
So I did that together. Okay.
Yeah. So I signed up. Like, again, I was like, okay, I'm just going to sit back because I don't know what to say when I go up to the booths, but like me and Mandy just work like really well as a team. Like, I feel like when we're together, like I don't know, it's just like the yin to my yang, like we're talking to people and it just felt so natural. And so it's just kind of been like evolving from there. And it's just even this Paracon in Ventura, it was just in a span of a week. Like,
did you guys go to a Paracon?
In Ventura.
Oh, did we?
Did we?
Did we?
What Paracon did you guys go to?
Pacific Coast Paracon.
Oh,
what up?
So that was this past weekend.
Yeah.
Yes, in Ventura at the Majestic Haunted Theater.
So is this the first time y'all stepped forward, sort of in a professional sense, kind of putting yourself out there?
Yes. And even that has like a crazy backstory. So I'm the first person to I'm the first person to say like, okay, I'm never going to do plant medicine. Plant medicine like terrifies me. Like it's legit cause like I'm afraid I'm going to die, or was afraid that I was going to die. I always said that it wasn't for me.
Well, wait, hold up. For those who don't know what plant medicine is, it's essentially a controlled setting where you take this medicine and it puts you in a state of hallucination.
Like ayahuasca kind of thing?
Ayahuasca,
yeah.
Yes.
It was ayahuasca.
And it's supposed to be unlocking stuff that you've buried, memories, fears, traumas. It basically allows you just to really open up. So keep going.
Okay. So where was I? Okay, so I'm terrified, right? But like, I've been so, just like Mandy, I've been so devoted to this work. Like I've been doing this, like studying professionally, training professionally for 5+ years, and healing at the same time. But like, this is really the time I'm just because the work is so important. Training wheels off just because the work is so important to me.
Yeah.
So naturally something just clicked, and I was like, you know what, I need to do this. Like, I don't know what it is about it, but it's calling me. So I signed up to do it. Ironically, in Ventura. That blows my mind. But so, okay. It was funny because Maddie had texted me like literally minutes before ceremony. And do you remember what you said?
We were in Goldfield.
Yeah. So
we were in Goldfield.
Yeah, as a group, yeah.
So out of context, she just kind of randomly texted me for that day and was like, we're out here doing our own thing. And I just thought that was really weird because it'd been a couple. And granted, I had no idea that you guys were doing an investigation. I don't even know, Mandy, if you knew I was going to do ceremony that day. So I was kind of like, okay, whatever, I'll write her back. I thought that was pretty cool. And so we go into ceremony, and like, so I had the impression that when you do ayahuasca, it was going to be like a tea, like a big old cup, but it's actually like a Dixie, like a really small Dixie cup, like the type that you get the dentist to like gargle.
There's no ceremony. Here you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like, so imagine the little dentist cup. And it had the consistency of like cough syrup. And to me, it actually tastes like cough syrup. So the room is entirely dark. It's 4 of us, plus like, you know, the 2 that are facilitating it. Completely dark. So I take it, and I'm kind of like sitting there, and it's silent. And I was expecting, you know, like they're going to be, you know, chanting or singing. So like, I want to say 20 minutes goes by, and I could hear everyone like, you know, throwing up, and like I could, they're running to the bathroom, you know, blowing up the bathroom, which I was so
that's
lucky.
another thing. That's another thing is when you do plant medicine, sometimes you can get super fucking sick.
Yeah.
I've known heroin addicts in the past, so it's very similar.
And I was wearing a diaper.
You wore a diaper?
I wore a diaper because my friend said.
You heard it here first, people.
I'm totally gonna go get it like right now and like show you this big old diaper. But legit, I was wearing a diaper.
You planned ahead. That's what.
I did. Have an accident. And I thought that was normal, and everyone was like, no, but my friend was doing it too. So, anyways, so I hear them going to the bathroom. I hear them like purging, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, okay, like it's really like, and do you guys watch Star Wars? I'm like a huge Star Wars fan.
What is it? Star
Wars?
Star Wars. Oh, I think I've heard of it. Yes,
anyways, so there's a scene where Rey is like, you know, she's like levitating and she's meditating, and she's like, be with me, you know, for all the Jedi before her to be with her. And I kind of felt like that in that moment is kind of how I would describe it, because I was just like the medicine wasn't affecting me. I didn't know if it was just because it was my first time or if my body was just had a high tolerance for it. But I was fine. And, you know, this was like 30 minutes in. And then I just go like, all of a sudden, like the blankets start to move, and you know, like the stereotypical, like it's like psychedelic and everything's like groovy, like moving everywhere. It was like that, and then it kind of turned really, really dark, right, really fast. And actually,
like just the room or the feeling?
No, the feeling, like I was spinning, like it was like my worst, like
you're starting to have a experience. Bad trip.
Yeah. The room is spinning. And then I found myself it's exactly the house in Insidious. If you guys have never watched Insidious, it's just like this dark place where they go, which is called the Further. And there's this house that stands out, and it has like ghouls and everything. So that's the house. I'm like, shit,
literally
like,
mentally.
I'm mentally there
in your mind, transported to this place.
I'm there, and I'm like, oh shit, you know. And so like I go in. I'll try to like just fast forward through this, but like I go in and I'm like, oh my God, like I see the scenes that are going on. Like, granted, they're not the same scenes, but like generally what's going on, like violent scenes playing out by ghouls that are just normal. And then they're just carrying them out like they're normal. And I don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden the doorbell rings, and it's Mandy. And she's in her investigator clothes. And mind you, I'm actually in investigator clothes too. And I'm like, Mandy, what are you doing here? And it was just really weird. So she would be leading me through the house, and we would just be experiencing together. And in that time, it would kind of go like, it felt like decades, you know, like it would switch. It would be from that moment, and then I would switch to a scene where like I swear, like I tranced like a murderer, because I was staring out into the room at my friend, and I was just saying to myself, I was like whispering, I was like, you killed her. Do you feel sorry? And she was like, I saw her, she was rotting. And then in my mind, like 9 months would go by, and she's like rotting on this mattress, right? 7 years in my mind would go by. She's still rotting in this mattress. And then it would, in my mind, I would see how I did it. I would see how I entered. So I truly believe like I was
a time loop
trancing. Yeah, I literally believe I tranced a murderer or some type of murder in some capacity at some time. So I would go that, and then there would be times where like I would be screaming like in the streets, like screaming like at the top of my lungs. And I was telling Mandy, like, I felt like that's what madness felt like. I said to myself, I was like, this is insane. I'm going insane. And in the moment,
whole time you're absolutely in the location you took the drink. So
yeah,
you haven't left.
No,
and
so
they
that's
keep you
another
secure.
thing. So like so I knew that I was tripping out, right? But to ground myself, I would be like, okay, Jade, you're in this room, you're in Ventura, you're
Yeah.
at Sonia's house, you know, you're this and that and blah blah blah. So I would come back to myself, but then I would be back at the Insidious house. And when it got really bad, it got really bad where I was spinning and I couldn't control it. It was just too much for my mind. And then I saw Mandy, and I think this was like in her, like, she was like in an alien form, which Mandy is totally an alien, you guys. And she put a crystal in my forehead, and then I would calm down. And then, like, as like the hours are progress, and mind you, this is like 4, 5, 6 hours straight. And then that's just the ceremony. Like, it goes on the whole night.
Yeah, it
and
gets
so
crazy.
yeah, and then so like when it would get worse and worse,
Yeah.
like especially with when I was transing the murderer, like she would put a crystal in my heart, and I swear to God, you guys, like it stopped it. And then all of a sudden, we were in the Insidious house together, and it was like as if Mandy was actually in ceremony with me. And Mandy, if it's okay to share, Mandy doesn't believe that she has to do that, you know, to experience those spiritual effects. But for me, like, I need something in my life that's so profound, so life-changing, that in my mind, that's what it takes for me to get to that next level of, you know, where I want to be with my mediumship and whatnot. So
that's what it takes for now, but you may achieve that.
Yeah. So that was just for me. So like, and immediately I could see like all the spirits in the room, but also all the dark, which is very like pertinent to me and Mandy, because we want to work as a team, like, but like with the dark and with the light. She's more the dark, I'm more the light, which is kind of why I think we're such a good thing. So I would see the spirits in the room, and the dark ones I would tell her, because she's there somehow. And I'd be like, I was like, is that what you see? I see that too. And so
whether she was there or not, you conjured her as a safety net.
I don't even know. Like I truly like my belief is that.
Keep in mind that I'm in my investigator clothes, right? Doing this with
in
her.
real time.
In real time, I'm investigating at the school in Goldfield with you and Brian and Emily. So it's just a weird, and she didn't know I was investigating. So it's just one of those weird.
What does the Goldfield school look like?
The Insidious house.
She told me that.
So what a fucking trip.
That's crazy.
I just got chills thinking of that.
That's crazy. Right, and I thought she was just making it up.
So
I thought
she could have even just astral projected herself to where we were.
I could have. I mean, honestly, like anything there's so many crazy things out there, you guys. Like, that's really a possibility, you know, at least in my belief. And so it was kind of like the same things, like for the hours I would be trenching this murderer and I go back and forth between screaming. But like then Maddie would be there. And then so back to the Insidious house, we're investigating this house together. And then she leads me to this back bedroom up the stairs. And in this bedroom is like, it was kind of like my reading room where I do readings. And she kind of just left me there. And I kind of had that feeling where like, I knew that I was supposed to read myself, which is, I think, is like the deep part of, you know, like you have to face yourself in ayahuasca ceremony. So she left to do whatever. But then we're back together.
Took you into your own reading room to give yourself a reading.
I think so.
I left you. I'm so sorry.
Like how profound that is, right? And then fast forward, you know, we were back in the house together and we're just experiencing this. And we would be, so I'd be in the streets at sometimes, I would be screaming, I'd be rocking, and it'd be unbearable. But Mandy would also be next to me at, you know, doing the same thing. And then another version of me and Mandy would be sitting right in front of them, like laughing. And then another version would be like, we would be like stargazing and just talking and just, so like different versions. And it was interesting because
I love that I'm a part of this whole thing.
No, like she was completely a part of this. And I have to say, you guys, like normally when I go through this stuff, it's like all about my family. It's all about my boyfriend, because they're like, that's a big part of my life. But none of that. It was just Manny's. And then, and that was kind of like basically it. Oh, we were on the Titanic too. Like what? So we were like time traveling. Yeah. Anyway, so we were on the Titanic, and it was like, it was crazy because it was just like we were like intergalactic bodies, right? That's all I can say. It was like if we were what's in your background, Mandy, like just that was just us. We were just the galaxy.
Wow.
And so we'd find ourselves in the middle of the chaos, like, the Titanic was going down, and we would look at each other, and it was like simultaneously we would say to each other, what if we think we're here, but we're somewhere else and we're really in danger, because that's totally a possibility.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, we were like, okay, but what if this is real? And, we're actually here and we're here
that's
doing something. And then
it's
it was
like
kind
the
of
Matrix. You're not sure which one is like you're vulnerable in the chair. Someone could walk up and just kill you.
And it was,
but in the Matrix, you're safe and fighting. Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was really crazy because it's just like when I said that or when we said that, I'm not like doing it like this, like Mandy's right next to me. It was like we took our power back.
I don't know.
Yeah, right. And I saw us, like
there we go.
putting people on the what's it called, the boats and stuff. And it was just really surreal. And then it turned to a point where we were like, I don't know where we were, but then like our spirit team or the universe, I don't even know who, they told us that me and Mandy were each other's guides and that Mandy had given me purpose.
So
and I thought that was
entities within the ayahuasca, right?
Yes.
I've always heard about that. People once, like when you get the deepest into it, you start seeing these beings.
Yeah.
And people say they're real. I have a friend named Matt who did it, and he saw the same beings. The thing is, everyone sees these same beings when they get to the depth of their ayahuasca trip.
Yeah. And granted, this is my first time. Like I went in it, with no expectations. So I had no idea of any of that. But I was open to everything, And
my dad loves Jade, by the way.
Hi, Tim. And what was I going to say? Where was I, guys? I lost track. I got too excited.
You got all the way in, and you and Mandy were there with your guides, like your whole team.
Yeah.
So they were saying that me and Mandy were each other's guides here on Earth. So that's kind of like a new concept to me already, right? And then they said Mandy had given me purpose. And I was like, oh, that makes so much sense because, I've been doing this for 5 years. I didn't really have my own like niche, right? Like I'm a medium, but like I want to be something different, something unique. And I didn't know what I had to offer, which is a little bit why like I didn't come out yet. But like Mandy, she has the paranormal, she has her mediumship. And like now, like Mandy kind of adopted me, right? Like I say, like I was a stray and like Mandy adopted me. So that really did give my life purpose. Like everything kind of just clicked, everything kind of just flowed. So I was so grateful, Mandy, for that. And then what else happened? I think that was like pretty much it. Oh, and then I saw ourselves, and this is the wildest thing. So I saw ourselves like on flyers, right? On flyers, and it said world famous. So I was like, oh, I was already excited, because we want to do something great in this field, eventually, hopefully, it comes to that where it's profound and then, like worldwide big. I saw myself speaking on stage, but it wasn't like just a normal stage. It was like a stage and it had like the balcony and the stage was black and it was just a really small stage. It was just, and I knew that Mandy in my awareness was off to my side, ready to speak. Right. So that was kind of
I'm always ready.
The gist of like my entire ayahuasca experience. But fast forward, and I apologize. I know that was like a long tangent.
Well, that's great. We've never discussed anything like that. And I've heard a few podcasts about it, and I've had 2 friends that have done it. I've never even had a beer, so I can't talk about it.
So I was with my friend, and we don't know the Ventura area at all. And we left the place we were at like 11, so we were hungry. We were trying to look for something to eat, and we just couldn't find anything. So we said, okay, we're just gonna drive, and we find anything. And we drove, and it was like 20 minutes, and we couldn't find anything. So what we always do is we always say, Spirit, we know you're always watching out for us, And so we said,
Spirit,
like,
we're hungry. I could be that spirit.
Yeah, right. Like lead us to a place that is fun, that we'll enjoy, where the food is good, where the service is really good, and where the parking is, easily accessible. And like it's like instantly we landed in downtown Ventura, right? So this place was amazing, and everything was workout.
Everything be fat free and low calorie and delicious.
It works, I swear. I swear by it. so we ended up in downtown Ventura, and it was amazing. The shopping was amazing. The people were
Yeah, I
amazing.
love downtown
Just
Ventura. All
a great.
Those antique stores and stuff.
Yes, we
Yeah.
went there too. It was amazing. So like, so it's just a good time. I left really happy. And then was it not even a couple days? Mandy writes me and she's like, hey, it was really early in the morning, guys. She's like, hey, do you want to go to this Paracon? And I'm like, okay, because I'm always like, Mandy's like ride or die, right? I'll always say yeah. So I say yeah, and like I didn't really think much of it. And then I was like, okay, but if we can make flyers, you know, because I've always wanted to make like a flyer of us, like just, you know, so it feels like legit. Because I always tell Mandy, like, I feel like you have to believe it first. You can't just say it and then like talk and then not believe it. I feel like we
were just gonna go as guests, like just general public,
yeah,
with flyers.
That's when you like a table's as much as a ticket sometimes, you know.
Yeah. And then I don't know, I started to get excited about the thought of making a flyer, you know, as crazy as that sounds. And then one day I was just like, you know what, Mandy, do you want to do sponsorship? Because I think I sent her a picture and she's like, stop, like that's so good, like we should totally do it. And like she's like, we should do a sponsorship. And I had no idea what a sponsorship was, you know. And then I looked it up, and I guess you can like pay to have a table. And I didn't think of anything. When I told Manny, she was kind of like, what did you say, Manny?
I honestly was like, I don't know.
Think we'll get a table. Like she didn't think our application would get approved.
Yeah.
And I hadn't thought about that. So I didn't have that block in my mind or anything. So I was like, I started to think about it. I was like, okay, maybe not, you know, like maybe if Mandy's not feeling it. And this was more for like Mandy, you know, because like I wanted to promote you guys. And I was just happy to be invited, happy to like join along. And then all of a sudden, so I did it anyways. I just did it on pure faith that, you know, and I said to the universe, I said, if this is meant for me, Mandy, then, you know, make it happen, you know, arrange everything and we'll do it. We'll do it. Even if we're scared, we're going to do it. And it happened.
Oh yeah.
And
they won't say no to the almighty dollar.
Yeah. It happened. I told Mandy, and so we got so excited, and we got all the stuff together, but everything just came together so perfectly. And it was funny because where I was doing the ayahuasca, and then just landing in downtown, it's the same exact area. So I came back to the same exact area, not knowing that I was going to be there exactly
wearing
1 week
the
later.
Same diaper. No.
No diaper this time.
No diaper this time.
The diapers, no diaper this time. But isn't that wild? Like, and then everything, and now here I am with you guys. So like everything has been, we got a lot of opportunities, you know, that we're so grateful for, but everything literally changed from, and I'm not saying like, you know, you have to do ayahuasca to experience all these things. No. I'm just saying for like my experience was like it changed in a span of a week. And I thought that was so crazy because Mandy's, you know, she's been wanting to do this for so long, trying to promote herself and stuff. And I know that we've had like, we're similar in that we were so scared, you know, to just put ourselves out there, scared to what people will think of us, really. And then, you know, I think together we make a good team because like we have each other, you know, we're not just doing it alone. And it's interesting because I know Mandy had always done things alone, went to events alone, concerts and stuff like that. Wow. And yeah, and I've grown up doing the same thing. So now we have each other, and it's just really interesting how it all came together. Yeah. So she's the Batman. I'm the Robin. Yeah.
I'm the Batman. But it was fun. It was
really fun.
We met a lot of really cool people. We got to investigate the theater, which it's so haunted. And
it's not open for investigation, so we thought that was really cool.
Tell everyone the name of the theater.
The Majestic Ventura Theater.
The Majestic Ventura.
Majestic Ventura.
It is so majestic, you guys. Well, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful and it's super haunted.
Now, who were some other people you guys got to meet while you were there?
Of course, Patty Negri, the beautiful.
Did y'all get to talk to Patty?
Yes, got to talk to her.
Did she remember you from the talk show?
Yeah.
We did a seance with her. She's not gonna
remember me, and she did. So,
good.
Yeah, she was great. We got to meet Unearthing the Supernatural. They're going to be at Vulture City. They're a ghost hunting group out of Arizona. They were really great. who else did we meet? Oh my God. Met so many
Stefan.
people. Stefan, and his wife, who helped basically put everything together.
Yeah, and I think they're with Pacific Coast Paranormal.
Pacific Coast Paranormal.
Who else was there?
I also met, which I plan to bring her on, this Marie Mason, the ghost hunter. She's the one that owns the mine in Randsburg, California.
I like that.
Phenomenal person, yeah.
But yeah, it was a smaller event, but I think it worked out really well.
It was perfect for us being there for our first time.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, and then
Stefan, Stephen, it is.
Yeah. Stefan had mentioned to Mandy that, you know, like for the next Paracon, like invited us back. Well, it's not official, but you know, like maybe we can come back and talk on stage as trans mediums, and going back to what my vision in the ayahuasca, that was the same stage, because when I walked into the theater to set up it, I told Manny, I was like, this is this exact stage that I saw. And so like during the investigation we got to actually stand on stage, and we were just soaking it in, seeing how it feels like. And Lenar's, when I think the very last thing we did was we went in the spirit box and we asked them, you know, do we have your blessing to come back and speak on the stage, or just come back in general and do something, you know, more with the Paracon? And you know, they said yes. So, but they didn't want us to perform. We asked if they wanted us to perform, and they were like, no.
Said no.
They're always saying no to us.
I was like, can I dance on stage? No.
No.
Well,
can we sing? No.
The reason I've never been to a Paracon is because I've always told, like, wait till you get invited. And I've always waited till I got invited.
No.
Never been invited. No. And then someone would tell me, I was like, no, you pay to go. And I was like,
yeah,
I don't know. Are you supposed to pay? So, like, for years, I've been contacting Paracon saying, we'd love to be involved. And they go, cool.
Where's the money?
But they don't. But they don't say, well, just pay. But now we were contacted by Virginia City Paracon, and we're heading up to that, and that's going to be wild. And we're going to have an exclusive Virginia City Hollywood Paranormal Detective T-shirt for that event. You can only get there.
That's cool.
We're gonna have an exclusive T-shirt.
What? My money.
Just found out live right here, dropping that info on you.
Can I put my name on it?
I'm gonna put
sign it.
Some sort of. I think I'm gonna put the Silver Queen, and then HPD, and then Virginia City Paracon, and then put the PEX logo and some stuff on the back.
My brother. We want T-shirts.
There's a lot of T-shirts.
I want T-shirts too.
Yes, Anthony, we will get you shirts.
Oh, there are. I mean, every shirt you see me wear is available on the Teespring right now. We got to get Mandy an HPD T-shirt.
I was bugging Mandy for the longest time for a shirt. I mean, not shirt.
Just my face. Like, here's Johnny kind of thing.
Team Mandy.
Just a Mandy face.
I was bugging her for the longest time for HPD merch. So, and she brought me a sticker one day. So I was like, okay, Mandy, you need to sign it. Like, I'm going to sign it because I put it in the back of my phone case.
Is that who you were signing the sticker to? Is that who was filming?
No.
Who was filming?
Other people. Jade was.
That one.
I was just wondering who was actually filming you sign the sticker.
It was Jade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But so I wanted her to, you know, sign the sticker, and she was really weird about it. She was like, no. And I left her because I didn't want to make her feel uncomfortable. And so it was another, like, one of those surreal moments where I kind of feel like we manifested it, because like we were here, and then I was like, Mandy, can you sign my thing now? And so she signed it, and it was like, that was like such a big moment for her. And so I signed mine and gave it to her. So it's kind of like our promise to each other that, you know, we're going to make it. Like, you guys made it, but like, you know, like,
I don't think we made it yet, but we've got to. We're something.
For the Maisies,
we're rolling the dice. We're rolling the dice. We're rolling the dice. I always expect, like, I'm going to catch something unbelievable. I always have this feeling like, everyone's got voices, everyone's got something. I always like, what if I were to like lock eyes with something, catch it on camera, and get one word out of it, and then it's all on camera. Like a person that's not there, and then they disappear, and then be like, "Did we get that?" And like, yeah, you just talked to a person that vanished on camera. Like,
that's a holy grail.
Well, you put that out there. It's marinating.
but I always
now.
think about it. Like, I want to I locked eyes with something at the prison. I don't want to see it, but so tell me more. So what were you? Tell me more about this Paracon. I want to be there in my mind. Were there people giving talks? Were there people investigating?
Yes.
How many people were there that weren't part of the activities?
I don't know. It was weird because we were all in this theater, but at the same time, I felt very disconnected from like the lower level.
Yeah.
But there were speakers all day,
Yeah.
like one after another, and then the vendors were set up, and then people could just come on through and sit down at the front and watch the speakers at the stage.
Would you say there were 500 people there, or maybe?
I don't know. It wasn't that big. It wasn't that big. Yeah, it was just kind of like a trickle in all day.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
I've
Friday,
never been to one ever.
You've never been to a Paracon?
I've never been to a Paracon.
Even just to visit?
Even just to visit.
Oh shit!
I'm more of a lone wolf than you, man.
Okay, so it wasn't like Las Vegas Paranormal Convention, because that was crazy. Right? That was
a lot of people. Yeah.
This was,
and I heard you had the coolest looking table also.
We did have the coolest.
We did. It came together really nice.
It did look really good.
They're proud of us.
We had a freaking Ouija board on our table. So
basically,
I got a Ouija board right there.
But it was like a big Ouija board.
Yeah, and Maddie had her equipment. She had her equipment on.
And things were going off. So hold on. We got to.
Yeah, we're going back all over now.
Tell me about this.
So we're at the table, and there's we're on one side. Our friends are on the other side. And this other side, apparently there's an active open portal in this corner. So anybody who was going over there was getting sick. Like Jade got sick. A couple other people got sick.
I fell to my knees, you guys. I would have to go on my knees.
People were literally feeling nauseous and not feeling good when they were visiting this gal's table because it was sitting in the portal spot.
She's in the portal. Her table's spinning.
So, yeah.
Hi, everyone.
And so I left the obelisk running pretty much all day. So we were getting, hits on the obelisk. Words were coming out that were pretty accurate with what was going on.
I've renamed your obelisk to Bruce Willis. Because it doesn't say mine goes table. Yours goes table.
My obelisk has a mind of its own.
Low and quiet, and in trying to intimidate you.
My obelisk has a mind of its own. It's become its own little entity. Because when it gets excited, if it says fire, it will yell fire. It does something. I don't know if it's supposed to do that, but it does. So we're hanging out, and this gal Debbie next to us happens to be a psychic medium. And she was at that table in the portal and, was like, I'm picking up on this. And I said, well, let's take the equipment over there. Fuck it. So we take the equipment over there and we start getting hits on the Mel meter, the Ren Mel. As she's like, I have a man coming through and, he died from this and he would have served in the war. And the Mel's like, beep, it's going off basically,
validating in real time.
In real time, during the Paracon. So it was cool to have all that happen. And then the obelisk was like homicide and just saying all these things that were happening. And so we're like, holy shit.
And she hadn't had that experience with the it was the marriage of the paranormal and the mediumship, and she had never had that before. So it was even more profound because Debbie's just such an amazing, medium, right? Yeah. You'd think she'd have that experience at some point, but she was just blown away. She wanted us to send her the video, and it was even the people that were watching were kind of oh my gosh, what's happening? And Marie had haunted keys there too. From where they're from asylums. She would just collect haunted keys.
Collected these keys from.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she had haunted dirt from her mine. Yeah.
Well, and that's
all that jazz.
That's where I hope we are breaking new ground, because we have a couple of times in recent evidence where Mandy will sense something and will gather evidence to prove her sense right, which I've never seen a group working that way.
Yeah.
Like Mandy literally will say,
Hey.
I think I heard a voice, and I'll have to go back and check, and I'll find the voice. And it's like, what? Crazy.
That's great like that.
Absolutely wild.
But yeah, so it was pretty cool.
So with the
cool.
investigation at the end, I mean, did everybody like Patty, Nellie Jones, everyone like just squash together and walk around this place, or how did they conduct it?
Yeah, so they kind of split us up. First, we did a seance with Patty, which was really cool because normally her seances are like, let's connect to your loved ones. But the first probably like hour was, let's connect to the spirits of the theater that are coming through right now. And we were having noises. Like, I mean, people were seeing shadows while we're in the seance. We were hearing to somebody's voices.
How many people were there for this moment?
Probably like
20, 30.
Yeah, 20,
it was
30,
a good
maybe.
20, 30 total, or that weren't part of the con?
No, just like people could buy tickets separate from the con for the seance.
And separate for the investigation as well.
Separate from the investigation too. Yeah. So we're all just like in this big circle down at the stage and bringing through spirits here. But we were getting activity. We had like the Paraflux and Periscope out in the middle that was lighting up when she was talking about these spirits. You know, she's master dowser, right? So those
her dowsing is so quick.
I thought that was so cool. Yeah.
Her dowsing is insane.
She's so cool with her dowsing.
I had never seen dowsing rods in action before. And it was just so, it was just like simple, like it was just normal. Like
she would be like, we'd be like, okay, we feel like a spirit's right here, it's on us, and she'd be like, all right, spirit, show me where you are. And the dowsing rod's like, beep, you know, like straight to you, like, okay, spirit's with you, you know.
And even if they were like right, like you had to like go this way to get it, it would go all the way, like, and it was spot on. Or it was just spot on. I thought that was absolutely fascinating.
If you've never watched our walk with her at the old LA Zoo, it's pretty phenomenal. The things she picks up on.
Yeah. I mean, she was getting a lot of really good stuff. And we were all, it was surprising too, because a lot of the people in the group were sensitive. So a lot of us were picking up on all the same stuff.
Oh, cool.
So that was fun. Like we were all having that experience of like
supercharged.
Yeah. We could all see the dancers up on the ceiling. We could see the people who were getting sick. Like it was just weird. And cold spots and being touched and
and then I could look over and Mandy's like going into like trance, and then like Mandy would look at me and I'm like starting to go into trance, and then like everything like wanted to trance us, right? And Mandy actually had to put her hand on me. She's like, "Is it okay if I put your hand on your shoulder?" And I was like, "Why?" And it was just to, you know, to ground her because like, it was getting so crazy.
Like, it's not. I had this this mobster was like following me around the whole time. And he's like kind of this like short guy, and he got like pinstripe suit and everything. And he confronted me upstairs in the bathroom. Just like, what are you doing here? You know, like no funny business. But at the seance, he came up to me and he's like, I want to go into trance, the spirit. And I was like,
how does the spirit know what trance is?
Oh, they know.
Oh, they know.
They know.
They always want to.
They use the word trance.
They do. And I've gone in a couple times in the obelisk too. They know that word. They know that they can use your body. So they're like, and they're pushy. They're so pushy. So he's like, I want to go into trance. And I'm like, no, not here. But they don't care, right? So they'll still like, I felt like if it was the same for you, Jade, they were still jumping in, but I wasn't giving them full access. So it was almost making me sick, because I couldn't do anything about it. Yeah. So it was that kind of stuff. Yeah. And this was all prior to the investigation. So it was already super charged.
We had Stefan, I was sitting next to him, and, you know, like he runs the theater, and he was just validating all these stories. Everything that Patty said was validated. So I thought that was pretty cool.
What do you feel from Patty as fellow mediums and her being so experienced in this? Like, do you get like a wave of energy from her? Is she like a battery? Is she drain you because she's so powerful? Like, what is Patty like to other mediums?
Honestly, for me, it's just pretty normal. Like it's funny because me and Maddie, like, I mean, granted, I've probably only seen her 2 or 3 times, like in person, but I always tell Maddie, it's kind of like we know her, and it's be like, oh, that's Patty, like, oh, like we would talk to her all the time, even though like I don't talk to her all the time.
Yeah.
But it just feels really normal. It's just a sense of like
I feel like she's an old friend.
feeling home, like at home, I guess.
Yeah.
Or if you're around an old friend and it's like it doesn't matter what you do, it's just everything is cool what you do because it's you, That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's also got this insane like boundary around her. I can't explain it, but
I could see that. Yeah.
Like her boundary is so strong, like nothing's fucking
Define
with her.
a boundary for me.
So like imagine a bubble around her. That's her boundary, right? Between you and the spirit world. Her boundary just to me is so solid and so strong. Like nothing negative will ever be able to touch her, fuck with her, anything. Like she's so in spirit that she's just in a bubble. She's just in a bubble. Yep. Her energy is off the charts for sure.
And me and Mandy, we have our own bubbles too. Like I think every experienced medium, I think, knows to have boundaries, because if you don't, all kinds of, you'll get overwhelmed just fast. You'll just be drained real quick. So that's one of the things as mediums you kind of learn to develop over time. And it's just one of those necessary things because you need to be protected. Like I do it all the time. Like even if I'm going to the store, I'll say, please surround me with a shield of love, light, protection, and reflection. So it keeps the love in, but it reflects everything out. And I notice, like, if I don't do that, like, I'll bump into someone and they're like incredibly rude to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why'd that happen? And then I'll be like, oh, okay, I forgot to put my bubble up. So it's a lot of like imagination, right? But our imaginations are more powerful than we think. That's how we work,
Well, then what about us? A non-medium, do we do these things that you do unconsciously? Do we have our own bubbles and barriers?
Yeah.
Is that without the way you do it, but have I found my own way and I don't know it? Or am I just naked and defenseless against spirits?
No.
How does that work?
I actually think that your boundaries are stronger because you're not
aware of everything.
Aware of it and aware of everything.
Well, maybe not like you specifically, but like just a normal everyday person who just has no wherewithal within like this field. I think that's their belief. There's nothing around them that can hurt them. So nothing does, but us, we're very aware of things that are around us that can potentially, harm us, or just not maybe harm, but like influence us in ways that aren't positive. So we're just very aware of that. And like I said, I'm very big on like law of attraction. So like I always think like I'm attracting things if I'm really negative. So I have to snap myself out of it. So like that's something I taught myself over time, like just my mindset. Like I try to stay positive for myself, because I believe if I, think about all these negative things, or if I ruminate on things that like upset me, bad things happen. And that's just true for me. But so our power of our imagination is so strong. And like I said, that's just,
even someone like me trying to stay in a good mood is the same thing you do with your energies.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
I've never done any protection ritual. I've never done any post-investigation cleansings, and I've never had anything follow me home or mess with me.
I don't think it actually matters.
Yeah.
I think it's all about like your perspective on things. Like if you don't, I think a lot of people get stuck in this mindset that like, oh, if I don't cleanse myself before I leave, something for sure is going to follow me home. But if you go in with that mindset, something's going to follow you home, because
you have that strong fear.
Exactly.
Wow.
So
since I've never done it, I don't want to start doing it. Like until something happens, I'm not going to do either one majorly. I've been told, since I'm so physical, I'm a big grizzly bear man, that I don't.
Bigfoot.
My subconscious knows nothing's gonna hurt me. Like
that's the most important.
That's good. Yeah.
So, because I also think that when I go into an empty room, if I'm in the gold field and the door is locked, and I know for a fact no physical person is in the building, I'm like, I have nothing to fear. I have nothing to fear now because from my days of fighting with my fists, I know I don't need these. There's nothing that can physically hurt me. And that's what I think. To help
That's
me
good.
not be scared of going into a dark room because I
Yeah.
know nothing's going to physically hurt me. Is that just my mental
That's your belief.
physicality
That's
keeping
really good, though.
That's a strong belief, and it's
That's-
it's your protection. Like for me, for example, like it took me a long time. Like I always get annoyed at myself because I'm always saying I'm the type of person that has to name like every archangel, all my ancestors, all my loved ones, to say like oh, okay, please protect me during watch over me. And like it's so exhausting, right? Like it gets so annoying for me. But now like you get me meeting Mandy and everything, like I'm starting to realize.
What was that?
What was that? Like a
whoa. Did you hear that? Yeah, I was like a whoa.
Whoa.
It was
disembodied
a
voice.
Hold on. Okay, we'll have to go back and listen to that because that was totally
that was weird. I totally forgot what I was saying now.
Okay.
You call upon really cool. all your archangels and all your everything.
So like it's one of those things that comes with experience. So now I kind of feel, or at least I've gotten to the point where I can go into a place and I just trust that it's going to happen. I mean, I trust that I'm protected. I don't have to do that. If I want to, like I can do it, just, I could do that. But right now I'm just like, I feel like I'm protected. And that's just come over like experience in situations.
Tim says he heard it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was interesting. So that was really cool. We've been having disembodied voices on.
Yeah, people have been catching EVPs on our live show.
It's been happening. Spirit is here and popping.
Really cool.
I guess I do that without, because if I start to get scared, my mental protection is no one's in here. You can't. And from years in the ring, getting punched in the face and black eyes and bloody lips, like I'm like, that's not going to happen. You're not going to get hit.
Yeah.
What do you do? I don't think I've seen you do anything to protect yourself or any sort of ritual. I see you psych yourself up a little bit. I psych myself more.
Her energy drink.
Sponsored by Red Bull.
Mine's more like I get more psyched to make sure I'm going to talk loud and clear and not stutter. Like I almost get more news broadcaster ready than I get afraid of the dark, which makes me not afraid of the dark, and I stupidly just walk straight into everything.
I don't really have. I have no rituals.
I buy that.
Yeah, I've never done that, and I never wanted to rely on anything.
You've never needed one, so you haven't started one.
Exactly. I think the only thing that I will do is like, I mean, I tend to drop my boundaries a lot, and I know that I shouldn't, but I do like
want that evidence.
Yeah, so hence why
that's the investigator in you wanting. You're using your own body, like I'm going to use my medium body to get you some evidence.
I'm like I'm willing to get hurt in the name of research, which is
it's gotten her into trouble. Plenty of times.
Live, they saw her scratch.
Exactly. And in that moment, I wasn't intending for that to happen, but my boundaries were so down because I wanted to feel everything that I got attacked. And that's when I was like, Annalisa, rebuild the boundary, because I was like, I fucking let that one go. But I don't have any rituals just because I personally, I mean, having Cindy Case as my mentor, she doesn't believe in rituals either. And so just in the sense that I personally don't want to feel tied to anything. Like I want to know that I could do whatever I want, whenever I want, without needing all these extra tools, if that makes any sense. But
yeah. And I'm trying to adopt that from Mandy right now. Like I keep telling Mandy, are you taking on any students? Because I need to be like her paranormal student, right? Practically am in the field.
It reminds me a lot of like high school when you're like, you don't want to identify your personality as anything and you want to be a genuine person. When you're finding out who you are, you don't want to like adopt any non-genuine traits,
Yeah.
Because that's when you're developing your personality and your who you are. Wow.
Yeah.
Now you guys have been a few other places together. Were you at the boat together? The Star of India?
Oh, Star of India, yeah.
Yeah.
We were at oh gosh, Maddie, what's that hotel we stayed at Goldfield?
The
Mizpah, we were there.
Goldfield.
We went to the Whaley House.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've done quite a few. Now the Majestic
theater.
Theater, which we investigated and had some really crazy things happen.
We're being haunted by parrots, you guys.
Being haunted by parrots.
And we were on a quest and found spiritual eggs.
I can't wait. Okay, so
tell me about this.
Maddie will tell them.
We have to bring on Unearthing the Supernatural. We have to bring them on as guests so we can talk about this because they're just as much involved with this spiritual egg shit.
It was basically an investigation with me and Mandy and Unearthing the Supernatural. And this group, because we were supposed to be in part of a bigger group, but we kind of just broke off. So it was us filming the entire time,
Who are we bringing on next week?
Cody from The New Reality.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But we need to bring on Unearthing.
I love them. I absolutely
love them. Come up. Bring them on.
We had some crazy experiences. So we were up on the second level and I was filming the whole time. So I'm excited to go through everything. But I knew it was going to be a wild investigation when I left my digital recorder on my table.
Recording?
Recording from Friday night to Saturday morning. I was like, fuck it. Let's just record the whole night and see what happens.
Friday night to Saturday morning. I've heard never do that.
We're just willing. For the sake of research.
For the sake of research.
For research.
So I was like, let's do it because Stefan said that on the cameras, they were catching a lot of stuff floating through between the tables. Like it really just having the parrot on there was stirring up all sorts of activities. So I left the digital recorder there running. When I came back in the morning, somebody had turned it off. Like actually physically pushed the button off. And so when I turned it, because when I turned it on, it was full battery. So somebody turned it off. So I'm excited to listen to see at what point that happened. But we were filming, so we were kind of with a small group. And I know Jade, you witnessed this whole thing too. So we're in front of this mirror, and it's used to be
the next day.
Yeah. So this is during the investigation, Saturday night. We're upstairs, and they have these mirrors all across the hall. And there's this one mirror that's missing its mirror. So it's just the holder. It's a huge wall mirror, right? And he goes up to the mirror and starts looking into it and talking into it. And he starts speaking in their native language, and they're Navajo. So they start speaking, and we're getting responses on Spirit Box in Navajo.
Oh, I know those guys now. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know so many group names, and I know pictures. It's hard to connect them all.
Yeah. There's so many people. But then he's like, "You guys, I think something's touching me." And I zoomed in, and you can see the back of his shirt is just one side, just one part. The back of his shirt is moving, and you can see physical finger marks in the shirt. Like somebody was pulling him.
Do you have your cam on it?
Yes. Oh, yeah. So
it's all in film.
It's all in film. So you can see physical finger marks pulling the shirt as if somebody's pulling him from going into the mirror. And he was like, "Are you trying to keep me from going?" The Spirit Box was like, "Don't go." Like as if it was trying to protect him from being sucked into this mirror.
Pulling him into the mirror.
Yeah. But you can see the fucking finger marks pulling the shirt back. And just that part of his shirt was moving. You could see it just tugging.
Where is this footage?
It's on my camera.
You gotta hook it up.
I know, I gotta go through it. But so back to the spiritual egg. So there apparently is a parrot that died there.
A performing parrot that would fly out into the audience and then come back.
So yes. So we're in the seance, and we all as a group heard a parrot squawk.
Like rock.
Yeah. During the seance. Okay. And it's quiet. We're the only ones in the theater. We hear a parrot squawk, and we're like, oh shit. So then we are upstairs, and we're in the kitchen, and I don't know how it all got tied in, but the obelisk said eggs. And so we thought that they're like, they want us to make eggs.
So we pretended to make eggs.
We start eating
Well, he pretends to start making eggs, but then we like continue on and it mentions the bird and then it mentions the eggs as if it's like
spiritual eggs.
That was the bird's eggs. And he was like, did I just like pretend cook this bird's
Oh no.
I really oh my gosh.
Scrambled parrot
What did we just do?
Right? So I mean, this poor guy, he's just like, holy shit, I just cooked this bird's eggs. But we're like, hold on. So we're like, wait, why are there eggs? Like, where do we find these eggs? And then all the devices were like, quest. Like you're on a quest to find these eggs. And we're like,
this is the new Zelda game, right?
And I was like, do you accept the quest? Because it's always this like spiritual bird or some
they
kind
say
of
yes,
like animal.
And then like a wall of the theater opens with stairs. Oh,
yes.
So we've been on this quest to find these spiritual eggs with our group members, and it was great because they kept repeating it over and over: quest, like you're on the quest. Are we getting closer? And so fast forward to the next day, we go to an antique shop, and we must have seen right off the bat like 10 parrot things. Like, mind you, I'm an antique.
That one, the big antique shop with all the different booths
off the 101.
Yeah,
it's called Antique Adventures, or Antique Adventures. I think
that place is haunted also. So.
Yeah, so I'm an antiquer. Okay, I can tell you that there's never parrot shit. Like you just don't see that.
I'm a paranormal picker.
So we go in and there's all this parrot references, and we're like, wouldn't it be funny if we found eggs?
And then like not even like a minute, I walk off into this like this different like little booths, right? And I was like, holy shit, Mandy, come here. And then I just pointed. It was a bowl full of eggs, and it was 4 eggs. So like me, Mandy, and then the brothers.
The guys. The brothers.
So like one for each of us. But the parrot was but the parrot was like actually the first thing I saw when we walked in there. And it was crazy because after we saw that, we would see a whole ton of eggs.
You bought the parrot thing?
We bought the eggs. I have 2. She has 2.
She's guarding 2. I'm guarding 2. So we're gonna
give 2 to the guys.
Yeah, because I was texting them. I was like, "You're never gonna believe this," and I was like blowing up their like Instagram with like all these pictures of the eggs, all these pictures of the parrots. And he was like, "Wouldn't it be cool if we brought those back to the investigation at next year's Paracon?" And so I was like, "Oh, okay." So I did. So like a trigger object. So we're the guardians of the eggs, and like I'm being haunted by parrots today. Like I was at a nursery. And I just saw like a bunch of them randomly. And then I did a welfare check on my boyfriend's mom. And on the lawn, there was like a parrot, just a lawn decoration.
There's just parrots everywhere.
And so we're being haunted by parrots. Oh, Amanda, I didn't even tell you this. I forgot what we're doing. So my boyfriend, Tim, he was on the couch and I forgot what I was saying. So I said something. And he thought I said eggs. So he's like, eggs. And then I'd never told him the story, but it was just wild that he thought I had said eggs. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then Mandy on the way back, when we're driving back home separately, she texted me.
Oh yeah, the license plate.
Spotted a license plate that says eggs. And it was what, 117?
Yeah.
What?
Eggs.
And I was like, stop. Okay.
So we're being haunted by we're on a quest. So I don't know if we like fulfill the quest because we found the parrot, we found the eggs, but we are being haunted in a good way. It's fun. It's exciting.
And the egg, and then you're gonna like move it. Oh, it makes something else. You're like, awesome.
I mean, that would be the hope, right?
I thought that was pretty cool.
That place is super active. A lot. They love.
So no one's ever investigated there.
No.
Why can't we?
He didn't want to open up to public.
And they're active. Like they want to use the equipment. They want to make shit go off. They love to mess with you. So this was the first time this ever happened. I was sitting there and somebody physically took my hair and I felt it go all the way across. Like, mind you, it's behind me. I'm sitting here and it goes whoop. And I was like, holy fuck, something just moved my hair. And they're like, oh, that's Chester. He likes hair and likes fucking with people. So
tell him we'll come back. We'll bring Patty. We'll bring Natalie. We'll do a full Paraflix episode.
That would be really
That would be amazing.
Bring Stefan because they love him.
Bring Stefan.
I mean, it's his place. So.
I need to. You guys got the contact. Make it happen.
We'll do what we can.
We'll do it.
We can. Or at least get him talking to me. Get him on the show. Let's get him on the show. Let's get him talking.
That would be cool. That would be cool. We have
What's
a lot
the
of
number?
people.
I'll send him the link right now. Come on, get on the show. Come
right
on.
now.
Come on.
Right now.
It's 9:00. That's been our hour. Jade, really great having you join us tonight.
Thank you so much.
And you know what I think this means, Mandy?
What does it mean?
I think she might have to join us for an investigation.
Oh
Yeah.
no! Shut up.
Yes, let's do it.
I would love to.
I mean,
absolutely love to.
I'm pretty high on the HPD board of directors, but I bet I could get it.
I would die.
I'll talk to the boss.
We'll make it happen.
I'll talk to the boss. Cool. I think it's cool. I heard that already. I mean, I've got the big hat, so Jade, cool. We definitely got to have you join us and see what you two girls can do together, you know, for a full HPD vibe. Mandy, have you ever explained to her that investigating at a Paracon is different than when you're with me and Brian alone in the depths of a prison or something?
It's a whole different ballgame.
I'm sure.
Do you really think it is? I mean, do you really feel that it's very different?
Totally. I mean, I had fun with everyone, but it's so different when it's just
it's not fun with you guys.
There's no going back.
No, it's just different when it's like 3 or 4 people in a location that no one else is at, you know? So it just changes the vibe of everything.
That's why I like to do it the way we do things. I don't like to set up cameras. I don't like to disrupt the area very much. I like us to have, you know, we all have our camera ready and we are there, you know, pure, very pure.
Yeah.
Man, again, Jade, it's going to be great. We'll get you somewhere good. This world keeps going and we keep taking baby steps forward to climb that paranormal mountain.
Yeah,
we're doing it. We're doing
it.
And I think that's it. Thank you, everybody, for watching tonight. Thank you, Patreons. Join our Patreon to make the show happen. Get you some HPD merch in our Teespring. Like, subscribe, follow, share. Make us blow up. Make this the new reality for us, right? New reality.
No pun intended.
Say goodnight, Mandy.
Good night, Mandy.